Neil said Junior needs to talk to Liz because he blew his voice completely out last week, struggling with his high notes. So
let's give him a tip.
Well, she did earlier talking about, like, you don't have to blow yourself
Give him another
up.
one. Come on. For the community.
Yeah, for the community.
For the community.
Vibes.
Well, so one of the things that really helps is honestly some of the warm-up exercises. And some of them are so simple. And one of the things that I like to joke about is that the warm-ups are so simple, but they make you look so stupid, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't do them. They're like, oh man, I don't want to look uncool. I'm like, okay, so you're just going to blow out your voice?
Yeah.
You do you, boo, you know?
Like we were saying earlier, you look real cool after the show going,
Yeah.
That was a great show, guys. You know, and it's like, all right, you okay there, buddy? You gonna be okay for tomorrow? It's like So one of my absolute favorite exercises for like warm-ups is it's called siren, like a siren.
Yep.
So you start in like a lower note and then you basically work your way to a higher note, and what it actually really helps you with is the connection between your chest, your mix, and your falsetto.
Okay.
Because you're basically working through the register where you normally crack.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because like we used to do sirens in like, you know, theater.
I was about to say, I was in theater, so I know a lot of warm-ups.
So and I was in theater all throughout high school, and that was one of our warm-ups was the sirens. But I mean, it's so helpful to like work through, and that's where you can start to combine the techniques where you're doing a siren, but you're focusing on where your oomph is coming from, basically, which is like your lower abdomen. And I kind of visualize it as like your abdomen is like your fuel tank for your air. And you don't want to be like, you know, sucking in here. You want to be sucking in down here. And like I said, just gentle push out of the abdomen to
can we get a little
help.
Example?
So like for like a good siren, you know, you kind of go, and a lot of times putting your hand on your abdomen can help remind you to like push until you start doing it just from muscle memory.
It's like working out.
Exactly. And so like you can hold your hand like kind of on your abdomen, like down here, and you start in like a note you're comfortable. Generally you want to start somewhere in your chest voice. Go, and then you work up in like the tone. So then you go to the next higher note and you do that, and then you do that. But you focus on not pushing too much, because if you push too much, your body wants to tighten up, and then this tightens up. So you want to try and keep everything loose. Yeah. And a lot of another really good thing is a lot of people think that if you open your mouth like super wide, like you'll get better sound, and that's not always the case. There are times you want to like open your mouth more, but you never want to open your mouth this way. You want to open your mouth this way. And a lot of it is just conserving the air, because you don't want to waste air, especially if you're singing a song that has long phrases and, you know, it's really difficult with breathing. Because believe it or not, one of the toughest songs that I sing, not like vocally, but breath work wise, is Love Story by Taylor Swift.
Because it's just like a bunch of all together. Yeah.
It's real quick, and there's not a whole lot of room to take good breaths.
She's a master with breath work.
Oh, I know.
The tour she's on now is 3 hours without a break.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Is it CASLAND?
CASLAND. Yes. Okay. And anybody who follows me, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, anything like that, I do accept DMs. So if anybody has questions about lessons or questions about where to find my music or anything like that, I'm more than happy to interact with followers and everything like that. So
there you go, guys.
Someone asked me to type your name in, like your TikTok name in the chat.
Yeah.
So.
Look what I'm doing for you guys.
Well, and in terms of TikTok, you know, right now, a lot of it, like there is some of my music stuff on there. When I first started the account, I did a lot of like widow content, you know, and everything like that. I've been on a hiatus with like posting for a while, just because like there's been some stuff in my life I've been dealing with, and you know, trying to be like, hey, let me spend a few hours making content. I'm like, I just don't always have time for that. No. But now that like things have settled with moving and everything like that, I'm definitely probably within a the next couple of weeks going to really start posting, because I'm like, man, if I start posting, I want to be consistent about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Makes sense.
But I do
You
still
do
post
you, yeah.
very regularly on my Instagram,
Okay.
at least with like, you know, pictures of shows, and I always like, you know, doing makeup stuff. And
I know. I've been looking at your eyeliner all night. Like, I love it.
It took me so long to be at least mostly consistent with like being able
make
to
them look the
apply.
same, yeah.
Well, and when I first started doing like shows, it was so it was so frustrating because, you know, you look at like the big stars and everything, and they've got this gorgeous makeup and it never runs off their face and like whatever. And I remember I was performing at Margaritaville in their club. And
Jimmy Buffett's?
The one in Conroe?
the one in Conroe,
Yeah.
the Margaritaville there in Conroe.
It's a resort.
Yeah, and it's honestly really cool. Like they've got a couple different pool areas, a couple different bars.
been
They've
yet.
always got stuff going on. Honestly, it was like a great, if you just want to like get away for a weekend, it was a cool little spot.
That's where our next offsite for work is.
Nice.
Awesome.
It was a really nice little resort. And so we the band I was with at the time, we were playing in the Boathouse, which is like their club. And I was like, man, I'm gonna do this cool eye makeup look and everything like that. And after our first set, I went into the bathroom and it was just
Melted.
all down my face. And I was like,
Oh,
no. I was like, why?
all that hard work.
So
What'd you
really,
do?
It just like
well,
melted
I mean,
off.
I pretty much just had to wipe off everything that ran, and
Dang.
yeah, because I was like, man, like I would love to have a cool eye makeup look, because
Yeah.
you know, I'll get women or something coming up and being like, wow, I really like your makeup. How did you do
Yeah.
that? You know, we'll chit chat about
Yeah.
makeup, but it took me so long to find a mascara and an eyeliner that could last an entire show and not just melt off my face.
Yeah.
I bet.
And I was so angry because like I like doing like the really cool eye makeup, but if it runs, then it runs in my eye during the
It
show, and I'm like,
burns.
ah, you know, like I love rock. Ow, my eyeball, it's burning. You know, like, I'm like, I don't want to have that happen.
No.
So. Usually with like shows where I know we're gonna be like outside or it's gonna be hot or something, I go a little bit, you know, plain on the makeup and everything.
And
but
you do it all yourself? You need a little flamboyant boy to follow you around and do that stuff.
Flamboyant boy.
well, actually,
Little Metro boy, you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cute? Little like
Yeah.
real caramel skin, but
Stop
blonde,
it.
but bleach blonde hair. Yeah, I mean, just
and he's
tips.
like,
Fuck.
hold on, get off the stage,
Yeah.
T-Rex
Let me
arms.
blot.
let me blot.
Always T-Rex
Black
arms.
girl,
Yes.
you know.
Always.
Yes.
Well, one of my really good friends, he's actually a very well known drag queen out in Galveston.
How cool.
And him and his husband, he's a DJ, and like
That's
they
so
do all sorts of really
fun.
cool events, and they actually help organize like Pride Galveston and
Oh,
everything like
cool.
that. Just two wonderful individuals.
Yeah.
And he came and did my makeup for some of my photo shoots and
Cool.
my one music video, because he's very, very talented.
I'm sure you had those cheekbones like,
Oh man, like my face was cinched.
Yes.
And it looked amazing. Just every time he did my makeup, I was like, how can I even just have an ounce of like the ability that you have with makeup?
Bad
And-
bitches only.
oh man, I know. And it's just like, so I tried to learn a little bit as he was like doing my makeup, sort of like how it was feeling, like what he was doing. And of course, not gonna lie, learned a lot from TikTok.
yeah, seriously, me too. Yeah.
Dude, I will watch like the makeup tutorials. And I'm like,
I love them.
That's
that's
hot,
pretty
huh?
sick. I was like, that's a sick
Should I start
eyeshadow.
doing
Yeah,
Dude, do some eyeshadow
Yeah.
looks, you know?
for sure.
Hell yeah.
I love watching that kind of stuff. I used to
know.
watch YouTube like a long time ago
Yeah.
before TikTok was a thing.
I really enjoy the creators who can do like the really interesting cuts where they're like tap, 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 poof. And then
And it's
like
like-
suddenly it's like down. And you're
yeah.
like, whoa.
How did that happen?
Yeah, it's just like, my thing that always blows my mind is the ease at which they put on eyeliner. They're just
Yeah.
like, perfect. And you're like,
And I'm like,
and you like, I know you're like drawing it on and you're like, don't shake. It's gotta be perfect.
yes. And then
and then it's like, and then you look at yourself and like, they're like this.
or you blink and it's like you have a black line up here.
Oh, I know.
I have a lot of dudes comment and say I wear makeup.
You look like you wear mascara.
Okay.